Hey, Fellowship family, welcome back to the Church Bulletin, where we talk about anything and everything going on here at Fellowship. As always, I am joined by my co-host, Dalton Ent.
Hey, guys, and we have a brand new face joining us this time. We have Ethan Pope.
Hey, Fellowship fam.
Yeah,
And
YA director.
Oh, yes, YA director.
And so, like always, we start off with, we have our guests come in with a would you rather question.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you said several.
I mean, I can unload a bunch of them. But
we may not have time for several.
I've got one that I'm really curious about.
Okay.
And then we can jump into the other
Sure.
one if you want to.
Go for it.
If you had to choose between fighting 100 ducks, or 100 elephants the size of a duck, or one duck the size of an elephant, what would you choose?
Does the elephant the size of a duck have the strength of an elephant normal size?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
Yep, that trunk could whoop you up. And I know there's a little bit of tension as you're thinking through this because you've recently lost part of yourself.
You're not fully able.
And so your
fight.
hook is not as strong as you want it to be, but you still have to think through if that hook's going to be able to take down a little elephant duck or if you want to size up against the 100.
Yeah. Are you able to kick well right now or?
No, I'm not. Today was the first time I could tie my shoes.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Well,
Proud
for
of you.
those listening, Dalton just had his appendix taken out, so he is in recovery.
He's in a little bit more fear of the duck-sized elephant than anything else.
I'd
Yeah.
probably do the elephant-sized duck.
Yeah.
Okay.
See if
Why?
I can step on it.
But there's 100 of those.
The elephant
there's
size.
100 of them.
There's
Wait.
100 of those.
Oh.
Okay. You're doing
Sure.
the duck-sized
wait.
elephants.
Yeah, guys, this was a bad question.
You're okay.
So there are 100 elephants that are the size of ducks, or there is one massive duck the size of an elephant.
Yeah.
Which one are you trying to take down?
Okay, the elephant-sized duck.
Oh, you're going big.
Okay.
I would do the big one.
Do you have a why?
Because I feel like you could get away from or beat up one duck versus 100 little elephants.
I'm just picturing like a
Like, I'm
duck
just-
flying down on you, like sitting on you.
Well, I'm just imagining
As you
this
try
like
and run.
stampede of little elephants
Yeah, like
coming
their
at
little
you.
horns hooting, like
Yeah.
trying to stamp
Oh
on
That'd
my
be kind of
gosh.
scary,
Yeah.
actually.
What about you, Ethan?
I think I'd go for the small ones.
Okay.
I'm confident in my kicking abilities. I'm not confident
Yeah.
in my wrestling abilities of an elephant-sized duck. So
Yeah.
I'd go for the miniatures.
I think I'd also go for the miniatures.
Yeah, I've got more confidence there.
Yeah. I feel like in my head I probably am underestimating having 100 of them, but
Yeah, that's a lot for sure.
but I think
But if it's like
that's
the
better.
strength of an elephant still, that's a dense thing to kick. Like,
That's kind of true. I don't know.
Okay.
Either way, not great.
That question failed.
No.
Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, go for it.
And Eli can edit out the bad one. Would you rather be loved for what you're good at or liked for what you're best at?
Okay, loved for what you're good at or liked for what you're best at. Oh, gosh.
you can answer
you have-
first.
Well, I was about to say, do you have an answer?
Yeah, but that's why I'm asking you guys. I'd
darn.
love to hear yours.
So loved for what you're good at
Yeah.
and liked for what you're best at.
Yeah.
I guess I'd rather be loved for what I'm good at.
Okay. You'd rather receive love for average?
Yeah, I think so.
I think liked for what I'm great at.
Yeah.
Really?
I
guess
think that
I don't
would
know.
make me feel better overall.
You'd rather someone see you for who you are than care about for who you're not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is hurting my brain. I want to
It's
hear
very
your
early for
answer.
this.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think I'd land in the latter. I think I'd rather be liked for what I'm best at. I'd rather be with a small group of people who at least are willing to tell me the truth, but see me, than with someone that just thinks I'm awesome for something I don't think I'm really good at.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't know who I am.
No, that's a great point. Okay. I don't have a great answer. I'm going to have to go think about this the rest of the day.
I'll send you an email. You can think
Okay.
about it for the rest of the day. Yeah.
Perfect. That was a great question. Thank you for coming in with those.
Yeah, those are good.
So before we head into the rest of what's in this issue of the Church Bulletin, tell us a little bit more about like you and your family and your kind of history here at Fellowship.
Yeah, Fellowship's been stuck with me for 12 years, but I've been like the weird uncle that hasn't been around for the last 10. I was an intern during my college season. I was at Manhattan Christian College getting my degree in pastoral ministry and came back here to figure out what weddings and funerals and life care look like? And during that summer, fell in love with the church ministry, but still felt the calling to go into missions. And so the rest of my college career I spent with Trash Mountain Project, trying to figure out what it would look like to serve globally. Life took a little bit of a weird turn, and I went from finishing up my senior year here to wrapping it up at a residency program in Phoenix, which is where I met my wife. God was really kind to introduce us through that program. We ended up getting married at that church. We both worked there for 5 years before we had our daughter. Then when we had our son, we transitioned to a ministry in Idaho, and that was home for the last 3 years.
Nice.
And then life took another weird turn, and God was very kind to line up a space for us back here at Fellowship, where we've brought all 3 of our kids. So we've got a 5-year-old daughter named Emma, a 3-year-old son named Graham, and an almost 2-year-old daughter named Ellie, and are just living our best life back in the Flatlands.
Nice. Love it.
I've used terms that were cool back in like 2012 when I lived here, and every time I say it, people are like, we don't really call it Top City anymore. And I'm like, okay.
No.
The Flatlands. Oh, we don't really say that. Okay, cool.
I like the Flatlands.
I'm still learning.
Fun.
I'm learning the
lingo.
The lingo of the land again.
Sure.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. I love hearing about people's backstories, especially when they have a little bit of a backstory to Fellowship, even before I was here. So it's just nice to hear about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, how long have you done YA ministry the whole time you've been?
Yeah. So in Phoenix,
ministry?
I was an associate pastor, which basically meant I did all the weddings, funerals, and small group ministry for the campus I was at. And at the time, that was a subsection of about 7,000 people that if they raised their hand and needed pastoral care, I was the guy that helped serve them. And then did a few side projects in that season, which included some sermon development and teaching. But when I transitioned to Idaho, the job that God lined up for us was in young adult ministry. It was actually a campus of The Porch, which is the young adult ministry of Watermark in Dallas. It's the church that launched Reengage and Regen, a few programs that we run here as a church. And their young adult ministry has live locations. And most of them across the country are just subsets of young adults that have said, we're going to watch YouTube together on Tuesday nights and be aligned with this movement of God. That church decided they were going to go all in on this thing. And so when I got there, there were 250 young adults that were just gathering to worship, to learn, and to be in community with one another. And I did that for a year and a half. God showed up and showed out in major ways, and we saw some explosive growth, which was really fun, not just numerically, but spiritually.
Yeah.
And then as that season wrapped up, someone else came in and took over that ministry, and I transitioned into a role to help launch our multi-site. We changed our strategy as a church, and so I became the campus pastor and designed some teams and hired some staff to help take our church to another space in the valley.
Gotcha. Cool. So then what is it that initially drew you, I guess, into like your interest into YA ministry? Yeah. Whether it was that first opportunity or even coming back here with a YA opportunity.
Can I speak transparently without judgment?
Yeah.
Okay. I never raised my hand and said, young adult ministry is the ministry for me. In fact, I was always thankful that I got to skip the season of ministry where you plan the youth group games and you huddle around the relevant thing. That's just not who I am. I'm not the relevant guy. I'm not the person that can put the banner in the sky and get everyone to get excited about something. But what God was really kind in our transition was help me realize, regardless of the generation you serve, everyone needs Jesus. And there is this thing happening in both the late years of millennials, the entirety of Gen Z, and the front end of Gen Alpha, where there's a hunger for the gospel that the church is not equipped, not Fellowship specifically, but globally, not ready for, because there's this wave coming in of people ready and eager to grow in their faith. And to be a part of that movement, a very small part, to help equip a generation that is eager and hungry, has just been one of the most enjoyable seasons of ministry. The fun facts outside of that is I got really tired of doing funerals. For a decade, every month I was probably doing 2 or 3 funerals, which numerically adds up to over 100. And I was just exhausted from that.
Understandable.
This demographic has less funerals, which is really that is an added bonus of young adult ministry. there are tragedies, and we've had to perform a few and serve those families, and that's hard.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But God's been really kind to move me from that season of emotional drain to just this joyful. When you're in a young adult space, like, people walk in happy, they're excited to be there. It's their choice. They can drive themselves. Most of the time they're exhausted from work. It's a space where they can be filled up rather than emptied. And so, even though I never raised my hand and said I'm excited about that, it has been one of the most joy-filled season of ministry for me.
That's awesome. Yeah. Thanks for answering that question.
Yeah. Thanks for asking.
Thanks so much for being on here again. And we're going to head into our time of In This Issue, where we talk about things that are coming up prevalent to the next couple weeks, or even into the rest of May. And Ethan, you have something very prevalent happening in May, but we'll get to you at the tail end of that, so that way you have open end to share it. But first and foremost, Dalton, what's our first one?
Primetime.
We all three of us have attended Primetime.
I went to my first Primetime this last month. It was awesome.
Yeah. What else did you think about it?
There was way too much food.
So it was a potluck one.
Yeah, if you're watching and you're like, man, I'm hungry. It feels like a great place to come hang out. If you're, what's the age bracket for
60
that?
and up.
Yeah. I fit in because of my hair and lack thereof. So no one really knew I wasn't of age.
I'm sure.
You guys were sticking out as like a sore spot in the back, serving,
I usually
which was great.
Sit back in that tech booth and put my chair all the way down. But no, Primetime is the best. One of our faves.
It's such just a happy, like, couple hours that
it really
all
is.
these people get together and they just love to see each other and chat and share how their week's been. And
I was blown away by the enthusiasm.
Oh my gosh,
You would think as you tiptoe towards that age bracket, the energy, the enthusiasm might go down. They walk into that space ready to learn, ready to connect with one another. It was awesome.
It is great. It's a very sweet picture of like just community and fellowship down there, which I love. Yeah. So that's something I look forward to every month. Is Primetime.
And you said down there, do they meet in
Fellowship Hall?
Fellowship Hall every time. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and last month was a potluck. It's not always a potluck. They usually have a hospitality team that
I think it's once a quarter.
Yeah, I think you're right. But they have a great meal always. And you can find more information of the guest speaker for this next one on our events page. And then we also have a welcome party at the end of the month. We have a welcome party every other month. For anyone who is wanting to get connected, learn more about fellowship. It's a time to gather together with others wanting to learn more. And then Joe usually shares a little bit about himself and the church, and then you get a guided tour of the whole building. So that's
at least 10,000 steps worth
of guided tour. It's a big building.
Yeah, it's lots of steps.
Yeah.
Or stairs.
Yeah, we do have elevators if you need.
We do have those, but
it's really, I have loved being able to be a tour guide and be there and guide people around the building.
Are you legitimately a tour guide for welcome parties?
Yeah.
Like walking backwards and the whole thing?
Yeah.
You can walk backwards if you want. You don't have to, but yeah.
I was an admissions counselor in college, and I got like professionally good at walking backwards. And so anytime someone has that skill, I'm like, let's go. It's so hard. You walk into so many things when you're figuring out how to do that.
This building, you know well enough that I feel like you can avoid like
running into something.
Yeah. There's a lot of open space. That's good.
True. But I mean, for anyone who, most that are coming to the welcome party have only really ventured into the atrium and the worship center. And so, and then maybe Fellowship Hall to attend the welcome party. And so it's really cool to show them the other spaces, maybe the spaces their kids are using on the weekends that they may not get to see a ton, let them in on how these spaces are also used throughout the week, not just on the weekend. So it's just really cool. I love it. Are you being a tour guide again?
I think so. I haven't been asked, but I'm assuming so. I didn't get asked last time. I just got put on the thing. So I imagine
that might happen again.
I might just get an email a couple days before. Hey, you're registered to attend welcome party.
You're like, great.
Cool.
Perfect. Love it.
So,
but no, welcome party at end of the month. It's the last Friday of the month. So I believe that is on May 29th. And then for our men's ministry, they're starting up their summer golf. It's May through August. So I believe it's the first and third Monday of each month. But you can find more information about that on our events page, as I do not know a ton about that. Unfortunately.
You know what golf is, though, right?
I do know what golf
so
is,
the
yes.
first step's good. It's just the details after that.
Yeah, I just, I don't know all the
technicalities
of that specific event and the recurrence of it. I believe you can just
you're
show
supposed
up and
to
go
register.
golf.
You got to register first. I didn't know that because there's a cap of like 35 people each time.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So you do have to register, which you can register on our events page. So
perfect. You will see even that we talk about our events page a lot when we're on this podcast.
Feels like a great reference spot if you're new or if you've been around for a while to go find any information.
Absolutely.
You got it.
And as a staff member, should I just bookmark that? Like,
yes.
I should have that on my laptop pulled up all the time. Good. Okay, noted.
It's helpful. Okay, so then Ethan, also in May, I believe, or June?
May.
Okay, May.
Yep.
Tell us more about the YA Summer Series.
Yeah. Before I jump into that, if I could just talk about what young adults is
Please.
that okay?
Yes.
Okay, cool. For a long time, I think around here, young adults was the space that we created because we knew there was a need, but it wasn't necessarily strategically driven. It was just safe and available. So young adults, whether that was post-high school or college or pre-career or career, or even those that were drifting a little bit later in life and hadn't quite figured out where to land, were finding themselves asking the question, where do I belong? And we're moving from answering the question of belonging to living out the idea that belonging is just the beginning. We want to be a space for those emerging leaders that are figuring out who God is in their life. They've already found him, or they're starting their journey with him, and answering the question, what does it look like to follow after him, to have my life built on Jesus, and that foundation be the guiding point for the rest of my life. And as we make that transition, one of the things I'm most excited about is this thing that we call around here Summer Series. We're actually diving into 9 ways that we can find God as young adults. And that series will last from May 19th through the entirety of summer. And then we'll figure out from there what's happening with young adults. The big kicker with Summer Series is we move from our Sunday morning intensive times to a weeknight. And so if you heard me say May 19th and you're looking at your calendar and you're going, that's not Sunday. You're right. We're no longer meeting in Stonebridge downstairs. We'll be up here in the main atrium. So if you walk through the main doors or the doors that say dialogue, that's the space that we're going to be gathering. You can picture a grassroots environment where there's going to be some acoustic music. There's going to be a good message. There's going to be time of community and questions afterwards for you to go a little bit deeper than just listening to the word. And then we're going to see what happens throughout the summer. Our prayer is that it moves from a safe space for young adults to a movement of God in the lives of young adults. And what I think that means is that on 7 o'clock on Tuesdays, we're going to see revival. And then we're going to see young adults living out the Reformation in their lives. We're going to see them diving into the Word. We're going to see them gathering in community. We're going to see them living in unity. But that starts with creating a space for them to actually engage with God's Word and grow in community with one another. And so if you're a young adult, which really means around here, if you're post-high school and pre-kids, if you are a person who has found themselves trying to figure out what it looks like to build your life, Tuesdays at 7 is a space for you to figure that out, where you can find you're not alone, you can find a space to belong, but where you can be pushed into the beginning of God building you into something better than where you found yourself right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing more about that. I, as a young adult, loved hearing more about it. And so I'm excited to experience those Tuesday nights.
It's coming to an end, though.
They're always...
Her young adult life?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm 27.
Shots fired.
All the boys that I work
knocking.
with up here, they're always like, oh, like my back has been messing with me the past week. And so they're like, oh, 30's knocking.
They'll get to 30 and realize what a blessing it is to be filled with wisdom instead of youthfulness. So you're good. Welcome to the party.
But thank you, Dalton.
You're welcome.
But Ethan, thank you again for sharing so much about that.
Pumped about it. It'll be a fun summer.
Yeah.
It'll be fun having an event in the atrium.
I know. I'm so
Don't ever use
excited.
the atrium.
Everyone was like, Stonebridge is this great venue, and it is. FBC built this beautiful venue, but you've got to go around the back.
It is a tricky
guess
one
2
to
or 3
get to.
doors to find. And so
Yep.
we really hope by lowering the hurdle of figuring out where we are,
Yeah.
that young adults will just raise their hand and say, I want to be a part of it regardless. And so it'll be fun this summer just to have everybody up there hanging out. It's a good environment.
I love it.
And then after the summer series, are you moving back to Sundays or?
Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
I think we're just taking it 1 month at a time and trying to figure out if we're in step with God. We don't want to get ahead of him. We don't want to stay behind him. We want to be in step with him. That means being a little bit more reactive in that decision making, which means we're going to see what happens this summer. And if that means we continue on Tuesdays, cool. If that means we move back to Sundays, that's okay too. We want to be in a space where the mission can stay the same regardless of the day. But you guys know this as young adults. You have everyone asking everything from you. And on a Sunday, when you're asked to attend, you're invited to serve, and then there's an environment for you. Well, now there's 3 things in 2 services. You can't do all of those. And so we're running into this question of how do we give something to them, not expect something from them. And what Tuesdays allows us to do is to give something to the young adult community rather than expect something from them. And so my hope is that whether it's a Sunday or a Tuesday or a Thursday, wherever we land eventually, young adults will know that fellowship wants to invest in them, that we're not just going to continually be the church that asks something from them. And that can happen any day of the week. We just want it to be a space where they know they're loved and cared for.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I love that. Thank you. Okay, as we conclude or head into kind of our conclusion of our Church Bulletin episode, we talked about what's in this issue, and then we talk about something that's looking ahead, whether that is further past May. And a lot of these we've actually already talked about, but so we're just going to do quick mentions. Dalton, would you like to kick us off?
Yeah, so Camp Oikos signups are live. Get signed up for that. That will be our little mini kids camp that your parents come to this time.
Family camp,
Family camp, sorry.
Yeah, when I was around here, it was SKSK.
Yes.
And I think this is the first year we're making the switch.
Yep.
And the family ministry's heart behind getting the whole family into that space is so fantastic.
I love it.
I've heard so many parents just in the few weeks we've been here just be excited about sharing in that learning experience together this summer.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm excited to experience it by just getting to capture that week as a photographer. So I think it'll be really sweet.
Yeah, but get signed up for that. And then women's Bible studies start June 8th. So the registration is open for that. And then we have Able starting June 8th as well. June 8th as well.
They start on the same day.
And what was their series called this time?
They did the shortest stories of the Old Testament.
Okay. Yeah. So and we have child dedication starting the 14th, and then the dedication weekends are the 20th and 21st.
Child dedication class is the 14th.
Yeah, and then the dedication weekend is the 20th and
Father's
21st.
Day weekend.
Yeah, cool. That's fun.
And then summer camp.
Yeah.
Sign up for that as well. So
any students that are entering 6th? Are we having 6th grade in this one now?
I don't know. We didn't last year. But you can find out
on our events page. But middle school to high school.
Yeah, so we're headed back out to Rock Springs. It's an awesome week. There's a lot of fun activities that Rock Springs has to offer. And then we bring in a guest speaker, and we have a couple sessions each day with worship and teaching, and then be with time and community groups. So it's an awesome week that you guys could have this summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Dalton.
Yeah.
Okay, so one last thing. Dalton, you have one. I always fail to come up with one before we begin, so you hit us off. So
I had my appendix out Sunday, but that Friday before, we had a funeral, and I was feeling absolutely awful. And so Lorraine pulled me aside and wanted to pray over me to make me just pray for that I feel better and stuff. Best. And so she prayed that God would remove the sickness from my body and just throw it out. Yep. And well, I texted her Sunday. In the name of Jesus Christ. I was like, so your prayer got my appendix out.
Yeah, it's amazing.
She's like, man, isn't the Lord just efficient in how he handles things? I was like, he is. And it's just kind of a fun little reminder that
is amazing.
Your prayers might get answered, not in the way that you were expecting by any means. Yeah. I was not thinking that physically something was going to get removed from my body to make me feel better. Yeah. But here we are.
Yeah. Won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
That is so good. I love that story.
And it's just great that it's just from Lorraine. Just so sweet.
Absolutely.
So
just the best.
Yeah, it just made me laugh so hard when they're like, yeah, it's your appendix. I was like, great.
Well, thank you, Lorraine, for helping him out and praying that. Okay.
If you need prayer, Lorraine's available. lhog@fpctopeka.com. Let her know. She'd be happy to pray for you.
She really would.
Facts. Big facts.
So my one last thing, I think for sure by the time we record our next church bulletin for the rest of like the last half of this month, I will have been done with Surge as a Surge leader. I just had yesterday, as we're recording this, my last like normal Surge night with my senior girls. And so I've actually only been with them for 2 years, which is weird to think about. I hopped in with them when they needed a leader, as I had a group before them that I had from 8th grade to senior year. So I've been in student ministry for like 7-ish years. And I don't know if it's kicked in yet that I'm going to be done for now. But I did think I was going to be done after my last group, but I like to say that the Lord laughs at some of our plans. But I'm so thankful for these past 2 years with them. It's been really, really sweet. And now have just, I feel like my heart has grown like 10 times more with every like student I get to know. So
that's sweet.
Yeah, that's good.
Ethan, what you got?
I've been learning lately that his presence is more important than my plan. It's easy for me to apply my purpose to every moment of my day. And as my day does that, I can sense I'm drifting away from what he has for me. But if I'm offering him split-second prayers and I'm petitioning that I stay in alignment, that his presence produces far more than I could ever produce on my own. And so I've just found myself lingering with the Lord and trying to spend a little bit of extra time with him when I think I'm done, just submitting to the fact that I'm not, and willing to spend 5, 10, 15 more minutes just listening and trusting that from that's going to produce more than what I could ever ask or imagine. That's been a big lesson for me lately.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you again for spending your morning here with us.
Honored to be here.
And being on Church Bulletin. Really appreciate it. And can't wait to see what the Lord does in and through you and in and through young adults. Won't he do it? But thank you again, Ethan. Thanks, Dalton. And thank you, Fellowship family, for staying posted here on the Church Bulletin. We will see you next time. Bye.